Jai Gurudev. So last week I didn't give you any extra homework. We had to just go through the same pages and start studying for the exam. Have you started studying? Everybody? Better start studying, huh? Okay. So today we'll begin with page 221. What is this page basically? Not just this page, even going ahead a little bit. Vasistha's only talking again about ragas and dveshas. Yeah? He's talking how ragas and dveshas come up, and these ragas and dveshas lead to karma impressions, and because of the karma impressions we get trapped in the cycle of birth and death and birth and death. We keep rotating in that cycle. Yeah? So we'll read it. We have addressed the same in Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna says, do nishkam karma. We address the same thing in Ashtavakra Gita, where Ashtavakra says, drop the attachment and do everything spontaneously. So let's see how Vasistha addresses the same. So who's going to start reading? Page 221. Yes, Sakul, you can begin.
Vasistha continued, he who acts without attachment merely with the organs of action is not affected by anything, neither by joy nor by sorrow. His actions are non-volitional. He sees not, though eyes sees. He hears not, though ears hear. He touches not, though the body touches. Surely, attachment, contact, association is the cause for his word illusion. It alone creates objects. Attachment causes bondage and endless sorrow. Therefore, holy ones declare that the abandonment of attachment is itself liberation. Abandon attachment, O Rama, and be a liberated sage. Attachment is that, O Rama, which makes the conditioning of the mind more and more tense by repeatedly causing the experiences of pleasure and pain in relation to the existence and non-existence of the objects of pleasure, thus confirming such association as inevitable and bringing about an intense attachment to the objects of pleasure. In the case of the liberated sage, however, this conditioning is freed from the experiences of joy and sorrow. Hence it is purified. That is, the conditioning is weakened, if not destroyed. Even if it exists in an extremely weakened state till the death of the body, the actions that spring from such a weakened and so pure conditioning do not result in rebirth.
Okay. So he's explaining the same thing in a slightly different manner. Yeah. This we have done, the first line. He who acts without attachment. Attachment here means raga or dvesha. I want, I like this action is raga. That is also attachment. I don't want, I don't like this action. Yeah? Or I am afraid of the result of action. Yeah? Or my focus is only on the result of action. I am not focusing on the action right now. All this is attachment. Yeah? So raga or dvesha is attachment. One who acts without raga and dvesha, merely with the organs of action, is not affected by anything, neither by joy nor by sorrow. So organs of action are your five senses, yeah? Sight, hearing, touch, taste and smell, and hands and feet, yeah? Your organs of ingestion and excretion. Yeah? These are all organs of action. Yeah? So in Sanskrit they are called Gyanindriya and Karmendriya. We've done this before. Yeah? This is like a revision for us. So merely doing the action because the energy is flowing in this piece of Prakriti and it is bound to flow in a particular direction. So I'm just channelizing that energy through whatever action is coming my way. Yeah? I'm not acting because I want something or I don't want something. No. Action is happening. Yeah? That is how a yogi lives, and then only he is affected by nothing, neither by joy nor by sorrow. Yes? His actions are non-volitional. Volitional, we have done this in depth before. Yeah? Having that willingness to, I want this, that desire first happens, and from that your action germinates. Yeah? That desire is only not there because you're not looking at the karma phalam. Yeah? That is the meaning of non-volitional, not having that desire itself. Yeah? You're just being propelled into a particular direction. Nature propels you. Yeah? You just go in that one particular direction. Without raga, without dvesha. That is non-volitional. He sees not, though eyes see. He hears not, though ears hear. He touches not, though the body touches. Yes, so this is very, very important, because somebody will say, oh, if I don't have to do any action, I just sit on the couch, I will not do anything. I will not take care of my family, I will not take care of my job, I don't have to desire, right? So why should I go to work? I don't have to desire, so why should I take care of the family? No, no. Yeah, that is the easy way out. That is not a true yogi, a true sannyasi. Yeah, this is a lazy man. Yeah. Not having that craving, neither the aversion to action or to the result of action. Just being. Yeah, like water. You push water this way, it will go this way. Push water that way, it goes that way. So there is a bigger plan which he has planned for you. Yeah? Niyati has a plan already. Just letting that push you in a particular direction. Yeah? So obviously when that Niyati pushes you in a particular direction, it is probably pushing you in the direction of family, in the direction of work, in the direction of seva, in direction of art of living, teaching or studying scriptures or doing kriya, whatever. Niyati is pushing you in one particular direction, just flowing. Not saying I like or I dislike. What is, is. Just being with what is. That is non-volitional. Yeah? That's how you will see, but you will see not. That's how you will hear, but you will hear not. That's how you will touch. You'll touch your spouse, but still there is no desire behind it. It is just an act of nature happening through you. Surely, attachment is the cause for this world illusion. It alone creates objects. Yeah? Because I have raga and dvesha, I have a world here. I have created an illusion here that Last time when I ate mango ice cream, it was so yummy. Ah, that pleasure was awesome. Now I've saved that impression in my head. Yeah? Now, again today I think about mango ice cream because somebody from India told you, oh, the Alfonso mangoes are yummy. And you're sitting here and wondering, oh, I don't get Alfonso mangoes in the US. Doesn't matter, whatever mango ice cream is available, I can go eat that. It's a substitute. Now the mind is attaching to a memory of the past. World illusion. There's an illusion in my head that I'm going to get this kind of pleasure. You pick up the mango ice cream. In the mind there is memory of the taste of Alfonso. And you are tasting the simple mango ice cream probably made with Mexican mango. Yeah? And it does not give you pleasure. Yes? This cycle repeats. The mind does not stop craving after learning this lesson. Yeah? Why? Have you ever wondered why? Even after that desire does not get fulfilled, the mind does not stop craving. There is a stronger reason for this. Let's look at it. When there is a raga or dvesha, some desire comes up, a biochemical actually gets released in your body. This biochemical is responsible for that false sense of pleasure or pain. You had that pleasure just thinking about, oh, this mango ice cream is going to be like Alfonso mango. That pleasure kicked in. That feeds into your raga for mangoes. And that again kicks the biochemical, that again gives a false sense of pleasure, and the cycle continues. So actually, if you really see, your desire is not for objects. Your desire is for this biochemical that is getting released. The mind has got addicted to this. You're addicted to the act of desiring. It does not matter what the object of desire is. That is why your object keeps changing, right? Think when you were a little kid, your object of desire was what? Toys. You grew up, it was boys and girls. And then you grew up a little bit more, then it was job, money, car. You grew up a little more, now my children, my family. Object kept changing through the time, but the act of desiring remained the same. So it is not the object that you are addicted to. It is this kick that you get from craving for something. For desiring something. The act of desiring is attachment. Or act of repulsion. Now you have to take dvesha also in account. I don't like the person also kicks in a biochemical. That also gives me a false sense of pain. That feeds back into my dvesha, and this cycle continues. So it's not just act of desiring that you're addicted to, but the act of repulsion also. Object keeps changing. Today I dislike this person, tomorrow I dislike that person, day after I dislike that thing. My objects keep changing, but the act of desiring or the act of repulsion is a repeated pattern in me. This repeated pattern in me is what is called attachment. This attachment creates an impression in my karma bag, and then even after I leave, I have to come back to pay back for that particular impression in my karma bag. Got it? So, you recognize. Now the objects, you must have written down n number of lists of raga and dvesha. observe in those lists, actually your objects kept changing. You made your first list when you did Ashtavakra, or when you did Patanjali, then you made another list with Narada, then you made another list with Yoga Vasistha beginning, and couple of times in Yoga Vasistha. Look back at all those lists, you will observe a common pattern. Change in your ragas, change in your dveshas. Yes? This itself should give you the clue. I am not addicted to the objects. I am addicted to the act of desiring and to the act of repulsion. Yeah? So you're craving for craving, in other words. Yeah? So let's read this. Surely attachment is the cause for this world illusion. It alone creates objects. Attachment causes bondage and endless sorrow. Therefore, holy ones declare that the abandonment of attachment is itself liberation. Abandon attachment, O Rama, and be a liberated sage. Yeah? So you drop this craving, being addicted to craving or aversion. Just be with what is. Yeah? It's no use if you give up one raga of chocolate and one raga for whatever, ice cream, and one raga for one person and one dvesha for another person. No use. You're going to definitely land up changing your objects. Yeah? Today only Shruti sent out the question and answer for overcoming jealousy for the blog. Yeah? Somebody asked me, okay, jealousy for other people's material objects is bad, but is jealousy on the spiritual path good? Can I continue to be jealous of another person who's more spiritual? I said, it's the same thing. You're just changing your object. First you were jealous because somebody else had $1 million house and you didn't have. Today now, on the spiritual path, somebody is a Swami and you are not a Swami yet. Yeah? You're just substituting your object. The pattern is the same. Got it? So the object is not attachment. The pattern is the attachment. That you abandon, O Rama. Clear? First paragraph. Attachment is that, O Rama, which makes the conditioning of the mind more and more dense by repeatedly causing the experiences of pleasure and pain in relation to the existence and non-existence of the objects of pleasure, thus confirming such association as inevitable and bringing about an intense attachment to the objects of pleasure. Yeah? So your conditioning becomes more and more dense, the more this cycle keeps repeating. Obviously your raga is for something that gives you pleasure. Your dvesha is something for something that gives you pain. This itself kicks back that craving or aversion. This repeated cycle becomes a conditioning. And that conditioning gets so established in you, it is the cause for sorrow or misery. Sorrow or misery here means repeated birth and death and birth and death. But in the case of the liberated sage, however, this conditioning is freed from the experiences of joy and sorrow. Hence it is purified. Means what? This link that went from your pain or pleasure to the raga or dvesha is cut off in the sage. There is no such conditioning. This does not happen. Yes? So even if for a moment something seems like pain or pleasure, yeah, because Obviously, even if a sage is there, there's going to be winter or summer. Yeah, summer might bring extreme heat or winter might bring extreme cold and pain in the body. He experiences the pain, but he does not say, I am hurt by it. N number of times I've told you that story, yeah, of Milarepa. When he was dying, disciples asked him, isn't there pain? Because he had a terminal disease. So he says, there is pain, but I am not hurting. Got it? So the experience of pain or pleasure was there, but there was no attachment. This attachment was broken. It didn't lead to a raga. There's no feeding into this cycle. Got it? Yeah, his act of desiring or craving and his act of repulsion, that pattern has been broken. That one is a liberated sage. Hence it is purified. That is, conditioning is weakened if not destroyed. Even if it exists in an extremely weakened state till the death of the body, the actions that spring from such a weakened and so pure conditioning do not result in rebirth. Yeah? So because this link is gone, the impression doesn't get formed anymore. And no more impressions means no more agami seeds. No more agami seeds means no more future birth. Clear? Now we can read ahead, Sakur.
On the other hand, the dense conditioning which exists in the unwise is itself known as attachment. If you abandon this attachment, which causes perverse notions in you, the actions that you may spontaneously perform here will not affect you. If you rise beyond joy and sorrow, and therefore treat them alike, and if you are free from attraction, aversion and fear, you are unattached. If you do not grieve in sorrow, if you do not exert in happiness, and if you are independent of your own desires and hopes, you are unattached. Even while carrying on your activities here, if you do not abandon your awareness of the homogeneity of the truth, you are unattached. If you have gained self-knowledge, and if, endued with equal vision, you engage yourself in spontaneous and appropriate actions in the here and now, you are unattached. By effortlessly remaining established in non-attachment, live here as a liberated sage without being attracted by anything. The liberated sage lives in the inner silence without pride or vanity, without jealousy, and with his senses fully under his control. Even when all the objects of the world are spread out in front of him, the liberated sage, who is free from cravings, is not tempted by them, but engages himself in mere natural actions. Whatever is inevitable and appropriate, he does. His joy and delight, however, he derives from within. Thus he is freed from this world appearance. Even as milk does not abandon its color when it is boiled, it does not abandon his wisdom even when it is severely tested by terrible calamities. Whether he is subjected to great pain or he is appointed the ruler of heaven, he remains in a balanced state of mind.
On the other hand, the dense conditioning which exists in the unwise is itself known as attachment. Basically, this impressions in the mind, this gives me pain and this gives me pleasure, and I want to do this and I don't want to do this. is conditioning. Yeah? And that conditioning itself is attachment. If you abandon this attachment which causes perverse notions in you, the actions that you may spontaneously perform here will not affect you. Will not affect you means they will not lead to any agami karma seeds. Yeah, whatever actions I do right now out of non-doership, as it is just a happening through me, just like a witness. Yes, I am just required as a catalyst for this action to happen. Yes, no attachment, no raga, no dvesha. Yes, I'm just a catalyst. Like this, if you do any and every action, you will not create karma, and hence there will not be any bondage for you. That is a spontaneous action. If you rise beyond joy and sorrow and therefore treat them alike, and if you are free from attraction, aversion and fear, you are unattached. So, first point, if joy and sorrow are equal, then you are unattached. Yeah. Second point, if you are beyond raga, dvesha and abhinivesha, then you are unattached. Raga is attraction, dvesha is aversion and abhinivesha is fear. Yeah. Anything that I fear or anything that I am scared of, I am attached to it. Yeah. Anything that I hate, I am averse to, I am attached to it. Yeah. And of course you understand attraction. Anything that I like, that I am with all the time, I want it all the time, that also I am attached with. Got it? So these are the two things he told you here. If you do not grieve in sorrow, if you do not exult in happiness, and if you are independent of your own desires and hopes, you are unattached. This is number 3. This is equanimity. Yeah. In happiness, my graph does not go up, and in sorrow, my graph does not go down. I am equanimous. Then only I am unattached. Yeah. Suddenly I'll give you some great award. See what happens? Oh, complete excitement. Oh my God. And the ego feels, oh, there is nobody like me. Yeah, this is called exaltation in happiness. Yeah, one little thing I'll say, oh, you are stupid. You have no brains. Finish. You'll be depressed for the whole day. You won't be able to eat. You won't be able to sleep. Yeah. Just a few words of appreciation or criticism can make our graph go up and down. Yeah. If your graph goes up and down in joy and sorrow, then you are really attached in life. Yeah. So homework for you. Are you attached? Yeah. And what are you more attached to? Joy or sorrow? What bothers you more? Or what really you hang on to more? Somebody's appreciation or somebody's criticism? So this is number 3 definition of attachment. First is going beyond joy and sorrow. Second is going beyond rag, dvesh, abhinivesha. Third is being equanimous and independent of desires and hopes. Yeah. All the time having desires. I want this, I want this, I want this. Yeah. Constantly observe the mind. There is some or the other desire or hope. I don't want this is also a desire. This creates a feverishness in the mind. You might be sitting all day doing nothing at home on a Sunday, for example, but the mind is on a marathon of desires. Yeah? So observe this. Actually, this has to be a technique that you have to practice. Take a vow that from now, it's 8:30 p.m. here, 9:30 p.m. On the Eastern time zone. For 24 hours, I am not going to desire anything. No desires. Doesn't matter. Nothing is going to happen in 24 hours. I won't lose anything big. No desires. I will just move with the natural actions of this body. The energy is flowing through this body. It will propel me in the direction of whatever action is required. Yeah? It will propel me in the direction of spontaneous action. That does not mean you are sitting right now on a couch until tomorrow 9:30 in the night you remain sitting on that couch. No. Huh? Not to be inactive. Not to follow any ragas or dveshas in the mind. Just a 24-hour period. Let me not run behind any desire that comes up. Let it come. Yeah, suddenly you have a desire, I want to eat rasgulla sitting in the fridge. You know, you have a desire, I have to meet this person tomorrow. I want to discuss this with him or her. How dare she say this to me? Why did he say that to me? It's okay, I'm not going to do it. He can wait till day after also. I can get angry with him day after tomorrow. Yeah? Postpone that desire. Just for 24 hours you have to postpone. Yeah? And drop every desire, I drop. Every desire that comes up in these 24 hours, I'm going to drop. Yes? Commitment? Everybody? This is yes, this is no. Even while carrying on your activities here, if you do not abandon your awareness of the homogeneity of the truth, you are unattached. This is number 5. Yeah, not abandoning the homogeneity of the truth. And what is the truth? Yeah, that I am this Purusha, you are this Purusha, he is this Purusha, she is this Purusha. Oh, we are all one. There is no difference. Yeah, we are all drops of water in the same ocean. There is really no difference. This is homogeneity of the truth. Yeah? The moment you start seeing I am different, you are different, I am good, you are bad, heterogeneity has started, diversity has started, Dvaitam has started. Yeah? Not even for a moment in these 24 hours should you abandon this truth. Yeah? Keep reminding yourself. Yes? So this is definition number 5 for being unattached. Not abandoning the awareness of the homogeneity of truth. If you have gained self-knowledge and if endowed with equal vision, you engage yourself in spontaneous and appropriate action in the here and now, you are unattached. Yeah? Basically, live in the present moment and act spontaneously together. Doing both these things together, then you are unattached. This is definition number 6, I think, for being unattached. Yeah. Moment to moment to moment, here and now, here and now, here and now. Mind might go to the past, remember what she said to me and what he did and why he did not do that. Again bringing it to the present and being here and acting spontaneously. Yeah. By effortlessly remaining established in non-attachment, live here as a liberated sage without being attracted by anything. The liberated sage lives in the inner silence, without pride or vanity, without jealousy, and with his senses fully under his control. Very beautiful this is, huh? Some people may be loners. They really don't go out and talk to people much or party much. They are just at home with themselves. So they can also say, oh, I live in the inner silence. Yeah? But such a person has pride about it. Now, I don't indulge in your gossip and your nonsense that you do. Oh, what, you are partying all night. I am such a sage. See, I don't party like you. I don't waste time partying like you. There is pride in such a person. Yeah? In a sage, this pride is not there. This vanity is not there. Yeah? Some people keep away from partying and being with other people and avoiding company because they are jealous of the company. Yeah? Very important. See, he could have given so many other qualities here, no? But he gave these 3 qualities specifically because a person who moves away from others' company, and lives by himself or becomes a loner or wants to be just in his own company, develops pride, develops vanity, and he develops jealousy, or he has jealousy. That is why he moves away. Yeah? So very beautiful. Each sutra is like so potent here. So the liberated sage lives in the inner silence, without pride, vanity or jealousy, and with his senses fully under his control. Even when all the objects of the world are spread out in front of him, the liberated sage who is free from cravings is not tempted by them, but engages himself in mere natural actions. Means, if obviously food comes his way, natural action of the body is to eat. Yeah? He does not starve himself, so he does whatever natural actions are. If his clothes have torn and he needs new clothes, he will still buy new clothes. But it is a natural action. It is not coming out of a raga, oh, I want that red dress, or that blue shirt out there. Yeah? There is no raga or dvesha. It is coming naturally from natural actions. He is free from cravings, not tempted by objects even if they are laid in front of him. Whatever is inevitable and appropriate, he does. Highlight this. This is very important. Yeah? This is almost like giving you the definition of what is spontaneous action. Yeah? You ask many times, no, it's so difficult to distinguish what is spontaneous and what is not spontaneous. In that moment, that particular action will be really appropriate, will be like a call of God or nature or niyati to propel you in that direction. It's the appropriate action, and your gut tells you more than your intellect, because your mind and intellect usually get stuck in raga and dvesha. But like a gut feeling tells you, oh, this is the appropriate action. Have you noticed sometimes you have to take a decision and you feel, oh, should I go this way or should I go that way? This seems logical, but I don't know why the other is attracting me a lot. Yes? We usually let that gut feeling go and go with the logical raga or dvesha. Yeah? Your mind comes up with lots of logic. Oh, you know what? You don't have enough green and yellow color clothes. You have just one dress, but really green and yellow looks very nice on you. That is why you should buy this green and yellow. I am telling you, this is the right way to go. Logic. Yeah, totally lost in that logic. Gut feeling. Too many clothes, Ekta. It's done. You don't need any more. And it keeps going. Yeah? That gut kicks in only once. Yeah? Appropriate action. Yes. Listening to that gut that speaks only once and goes away. not the constant nagging of the logical mind giving you all kinds of reasoning why this raga or why this dvesha is appropriate. Got it? That is the meaning of appropriate and inevitable. Oh, I must do this. Yeah. This moment I must let go of this desire. It's inevitable. Have to do it. His joy and delight, however, he derives from within. Thus, he is freed from the world appearance. Yeah? Even as milk does not abandon its color when it is boiled, he does not abandon his wisdom even when it is severely tested by terrible calamities. Whether he is subjected to great pain or he is appointed the ruler of heaven, he remains in a balanced state of mind. Yeah? Again, equanimity. So he gave us around 6 or 7 definitions of being unattached. Yeah? Hopefully you marked all the 7. Yeah? You recognize homework number 3. How many of these 7 have you developed? Yeah, it's been quite some time on this path. Yeah, and I'm sure you have all progressed spiritually quite a lot. How many of these 7 have you developed? So this page completes section 5, which means that we are moving on to the last chapter or the last section of Yoga Vasistha. You see on the top of the page, when you go to the next page, 222, 6.1. Yeah. That is the last section. The last section begins on this page. Yeah. Come a long way, guys. Yeah. It's called the Nirvana Prakarna. It's about liberation and it gets very deep from here. Very, very deep. That is why this is a good time to do the exam. Yeah, we'll still read the next 3 pages because the next 3 pages is a summary of the whole book till now. Yeah, and after that summary we'll stop and we will start studying for our exam next week. Yeah, it's good to get the summary. Yeah. So let's read this. Who will read now? Page 222.
I can read.
Yeah.
Vasistha said, I have thus provided you with a net woven with words which are indicative of the highest truth. Tie down the cord of your mind with this net and let the mind then rest in your heart. Thus shall you attain self-knowledge. O Rama, have you absorbed this truth imparted by me? Although it is mixed with various expressions and illustrations, even as the proverbial swan is able to separate milk from water when these are mixed together and to drink the milk alone. You should contemplate this truth again and again and reflect upon it from beginning to end. You should march along this path now, O noble one. Though engaged in diverse activities, you will not be bound if your intelligence is saturated with this truth. Otherwise, you will fall, even as an elephant falls from the cliff. Again, if you conceptualize this teaching for your intellectual entertainment and do not let it act in your life, you will stumble and fall like a blind man. In order to reach the state of perfection or liberation taught by me, you should live a life of non-attachment, doing what is appropriate in every situation as it reaches you. Rest assured that this is the vital factor in the teachings of all scriptures. Valmiki said, given leave to depart, all the kings and the sages of the assembly left for their abode. They contemplated Vasistha's teachings and discussed it amongst themselves.
spending only a couple of hours in pleasant and deep sleep. Next morning, Rama, Lakshmana, and all the others proceeded swiftly to the hermitage of the sage Vasistha. All of them took their allotted seats as on the previous days.
Before we go ahead, so basically here he ended that teaching of that day and encouraged Rama to really bring this into his life. Yeah? Make it a part of his nature. The most important sentence there is, I'm not going to read the whole page. The second paragraph, we'll read the bold. Though engaged in diverse activities, you will not be bound if your intelligence is saturated with this truth. Otherwise, you will fall even as an elephant falls from the cliff. Means what? In day-to-day activities, yeah, constantly in this manana, that I am the Purusha, everybody and everything here is that Purusha. Yes, not letting this truth vanish from your eyes. Yeah, Maya will take over. When you go to office and your boss starts shouting and screaming at you, you cannot see the Purusha in him at all. Yeah, he obviously is the personified devil for you at that moment. You see Dvaitam there. Yeah, but what is he saying? Even in diverse activities, whatever it is, just remembering this is my boss who's giving me all these insults right now, but this is just my karma coming back to me. Purusha is making this happen. Niyati is making this happen. This understanding, you don't have to tell your boss or your subordinates or anybody. This subtle understanding should always be there. All the time. I just gave you an example of office, but at home with friends, in art of living, outside art of living, wherever, moment to moment to moment. And awareness and understanding of this, of this truth, that all this is just Maya. It's Prakriti which is changing. The only truth is I, and each and every person and everything here is just that Purusha. Yes. When you are engaged in diverse activities, you will not be bound if your intelligence is saturated with this truth. Not be bound means you will not create karma. Yeah. Otherwise, you will fall like an elephant falls from the cliff. Again, if you conceptualize this teaching for your intellectual entertainment and do not let it act in your life, you will stumble and fall like a blind man. This is a very big warning right there. Exam question. What is the warning given by Vasistha to Rama? This is not for your intellectual entertainment. This is not for fun. This is for sincerely practicing in life. Yes. It's not, oh, I don't have anything else to do. Wednesday night, okay, good. 1 hour intellectual entertainment. Let's listen to Ekta. No. Yeah? Not like that. But I sincerely apply whatever is taught by Vasistha. And I sincerely make an effort moment to moment to moment to be in this truth. Yeah? Then only will you progress on this path. Otherwise what? You will stumble and fall like a blind man. Mahati vinashti. Yes. Yeah? So, read ahead now.
Vasistha said, "O Rama, do you remember what I have so far said to you? The words which are capable of awakening a knowledge of truth or self-knowledge? By resorting to dispassion, the unconditioned mind, and a clear understanding of the truth, this ocean of samsara can be crossed. The one infinite absolute existence or cosmic consciousness alone is. Knowing this, be free of the ego sense and rejoice in the self. There is no mind, no ignorance, no individual soul. These are all concepts that arose in the Creator. As long as one considers the body as the I, and as long as the self is related to what is seen, as long as there is hope in objects with the feeling, this is mine, so long will there be delusion concerning mind, etc.
So now he is just revising everything from the beginning. Yeah. So first line is, first step, resort to dispassion. Second, clear understanding of truth. These two will help you cross birth and death or ocean of samsara. And only one cosmic consciousness or absolute existence is there, which is the Brahman consciousness. Knowing this, be free of ego sense and rejoice in the self. Again, all what are the concepts? He brings up concepts. No mind, there is really no mind. There is really no ignorance, which is, there is really no Maya. There is no individual soul only. That individual consciousness, all this is just a concept that arose in the Creator. Yeah. As long as one considers the body as I, and as long as the self is related to what is seen, as long as there is hope in objects with the feeling this is mine, so long will there be delusion concerning mind. Yeah? Because there is I, there is you. The I and you has created diversity. This diversity has led to delusion. That delusion has a repetitive pattern of raga and dvesha, this one, and has led to conditioning. And that conditioning has become so strong, I am established in this world illusion. Yeah? It started with the concept of individual consciousness. The moment that first I came out and you thought you are separate from the homogeneity of the Brahman consciousness. Yes, this is like a quick revision paragraph. The next two pages are like that. So let's move on to page 223. Who's going to read now?
I did.
Let Shalini read.
Vasistha continued. The illusory notion of the existence of the mind, etc., persists only as long as the sublime realization of the truth is not experienced through the company of the wise, who are totally unattached, and as long as wickedness has not been weakened. As long as the experience of this world as a reality has not been shaken by the energy derived from the clear perception of the truth, so long the existence of the mind, etc., seems to be self-evident. Such a notion continues as long as there is blind dependence on account of craving for objective experience, and as long as there are wickedness and delusion as a consequence. But in the case of one who is not attracted by pleasure, whose heart is cool because of its purity, and who has shattered the cage of desires, cravings, and hopes, the deluded notion of the existence of the mind ceases to be. When he sees even his body as the deluded experience of a non-entity, how can a mind arise in him? He who has the vision of the infinite and into whose heart the world appearance has merged, does not entertain the deluded notion of a jiva, etc. When incorrect perception has come to an end, and when the sun of self-knowledge arises in the heart, know that the mind is reduced to naught. It is not seen again, even as burnt dry leaves are not seen. The state of mind of the liberated ones who are still living and who see both the supreme truth and the excuse me one second. Sorry. The state of mind of the liberated ones who are still living and who see both the supreme truth and the relative appearance is known as sattva, transparency. It is improper to call it the mind. It is really sattva. These knowers of truth are mindless and are in a state of perfect equilibrium. They live their life here playfully. They behold the inner light all the time, even though they seem to be engaged in diverse actions. Concepts of duality, unity, or such others do not arise in them, for there are no tendencies in their heart. The very seed of ignorance is burnt in the state of sattva, and it does not give rise to delusion. O Rama, you have reached that state of sattva, and your mind has been burnt in the fire of wisdom. What is that wisdom? It is that the infinite Brahman is indeed the infinite Brahman. The world appearance is but an appearance, whose reality is Brahman. The appearance, for instance, your body as Rama, is insentient, is unreal. Its reality is the reality of the substratum, which is consciousness. Why then do you believe? However, if you feel that all this is consciousness, there need not arise in you the notions of diversity. Recollect your essential nature as the infinite consciousness. Abandon the notions of diversity. You are what you are, nay, not even that as a concept, but beyond it, you are the self-luminous being. Salutations to you, O cosmic being that is infinite consciousness.
Okay. So he starts with the illusory notion of the existence of mind persists only as long as 1. The sublime realization of the truth is not experienced. Yeah. Till when am I going to be lost in this illusion? Till 1, I do not realize the truth. Got it? That's the meaning of the first line. And how will I realize that truth? Through the company of the wise. Yeah. Now your definition of company of the wise could be somebody very wise in teaching you, how to build muscles. We are not talking about physical muscles here. So your definition of the wise might be somebody who is a great artist. Your definition of the wise might be somebody who is a mathematical guru, teaches you great mathematics. No. What is Vasistha's definition of wise? Company of the wise who are totally unattached. Very important. Yes. This person should be unattached. Somebody like Gurudev. Yeah, he's not attached to even this organization. He's just doing his seva. Yes, somebody who is just there like an instrument, like a tap is. The water is naturally flowing. That instrument is just there so that that water reaches you. Yeah. The tap does not have that ego or that attachment to the water. Does not say I possess the water. Yes. Then only can you call that a wise tap or a wise sage. Yes. Being with such a person is important. Company of such a wise person who is unattached, who is just doing everything just naturally, spontaneously. When you are in the company of such a person, then only will you realize the truth. And then only can you come out of the illusory notion of the existence of the mind. Yeah. second qualification. As long as wickedness has not been weakened. Yeah? If there is a lot of wickedness in you, yeah, recognize it. We've never really done this homework. Yeah? We say no in Hindi, chalu, yeah, shrewd, whatever. Yeah? Or you say, oh, I'm very diplomatic. Yeah? Very nice words you use, big, big words. Yeah? For your wickedness, you'll cover it up. Yeah? Check. Do an inner check today. Homework number, I don't know, 5, 6, whatever. Do you have wickedness inside? Yes. And are you strengthening this wickedness by all these excuses? Oh, this is diplomacy, or this is required in this world. Otherwise people will take me for advantage, etc., etc. All the filmy dialogues that you keep giving just to cover up your wickedness. Yeah? So check, do you have this wickedness? Till that wickedness is not weakened, you will not experience the illusory notion of the existence of the mind. You will always think that the mind is real. You will not be able to see why the sages say this is unreal. Yeah? 3 years almost, yeah, in knowledge. Is this still a concept that everything is Maya, everything is really an illusion? Or are you established in this understanding? Yes, everything is an illusion. Ask yourself, you don't have to tell me. Yeah, and if you see that you are still not established in this, you are still doubting Vasistha, you are still doubting what is there in this book, in the scripture, yeah, that means still the conditioning is strong, it has not been weakened, especially the wickedness. Yeah. As long as the experience of this world as a reality has not been shaken by the energy derived from the clear perception of the truth, so long the existence of the mind, etc., seems to be self-evident. So really, it has to be shaken. This concept of yours that everything is real. Oh, my wife, my husband, my child, my mother, my father, my house, my money, my car is real. This is a very strong conditioning in the mind. And this needs to be shaken. Yeah? And it can only be shaken by that energy of the realization of the truth. And if that is not happening, check. Yeah? You have to do an inner check. Why is this happening to me? Such a notion continues as long as there is blind dependence on account of craving for objective experience, and as long as there are wickedness and delusion as a consequence. So first he is saying there is strong attachment, raga or dvesha, for objects. Because of my raga and dvesha, I have this strong establishment in this maya that my wife, my husband, my house, my car, everything is real. Yeah, you're strongly established in this illusion. Why? Because one, he's saying because of raga and dvesha. Second, he's saying wickedness. Yeah, the mind is very wicked. And delusion as a consequence. So because of the wickedness, because of the raga, dvesha, the delusion is a consequence. Delusion is again this, that this is all real. This Prakriti is real. Yeah? So even after reading 223 pages of the Yoga Vasistha, studying them actually, not reading them, if you are still not established in this truth that everything that you look around and see and hear and touch and smell and taste is all an illusion, if you are still not established in the highest truth, you need to do an inner check. And the check is to see, is there some wickedness inside, or is there attachment to raga dvesha? Yeah. First time Yoga Vasistha has come up with the wickedness, huh? But in the case of one who is not attracted by pleasure, whose heart is cool because of its purity, and who has shattered the cage of desires, cravings and hopes, the deluded notion of the existence of the mind ceases to be. So when will the delusion of the existence of mind cease? 1. When you're not attracted by pleasure. 2. When the heart is cool because of its purity. 3. When you've shattered the cage of desires, cravings and hopes. Then only the deluded notion of the existence of the mind will cease. Got it? When he sees even his body as the deluded experience of a non-entity, how can a mind arise in him? He who has the vision of the infinite and into whose heart the world appearance has merged does not entertain the deluded notion of a jiva. Means you identify with this body, no? You feel, I am this body. Even that feeling of oneness with the body, when breaks off, that disassociation happens, then only will the mind cease. Yeah? So the first step is this disassociation with the body, and when that disassociation happens, the mind cannot arise. Yes. When incorrect perception has come to an end, and when the sun of self-knowledge arises in the heart, know the mind is reduced to naught. As in, the mind has ceased. When will you know that the mind is ceased? 1. When incorrect perception has come to an end. And 2. When the sun of self-knowledge arises in the heart. Yeah? Incorrect perception again is, all this is real. Yeah? Husband, wife, child, friend, mother, father, job, family, money, car. Being lost in these objects and developing raga and dvesha for these objects. Yeah, when this ceases, mind ceases. Simple. Yeah. And second, when the sun of self-knowledge arises in the heart. Sun of self-knowledge is again realization of the truth that I am the Purusha, he is the Purusha, she is the Purusha. Oh, everybody is that same Brahman consciousness. There is no difference. When these two things happen, that is a milestone to know that the mind has ceased. Got it? It is not seen again. When you cross this milestone, the mind is not seen again. Even as burnt dry leaves are not seen, just like burnt dry leaves. The state of mind of the liberated ones who are still living and who see both the supreme truth and the relative appearance is known as sattva, transparency. So they are calling the sage's mind, they are not calling it the mind anymore. They are calling the sage's mind sattva. This is so beautiful, no? We've changed it totally. It is not called mind anymore, because the mind has ceased. So obviously when you reach those, cross those two milestones and the mind ceases, now what do you call that which has ceased? So they've called it sattva. He's still living and who sees both the supreme truth, that everything is Brahman consciousness, and the relative appearance. Relative appearance is the appearance of Prakriti all around, but that Prakriti is nothing but a reflection of that same consciousness. Such a mind is known as sattva or transparency. It is improper to call it the mind. It is really sattva. These knowers of truth are mindless. Yeah, we say mindless in a derogatory way, no? Yeah, if somebody calls you mindless, you should be very happy. Oh, so good. That was a compliment. Yeah. Only when you reach sattva can you be mindless, as in the mind has ceased. And they are in a state of perfect equilibrium. They live their life here playfully. They behold the inner light all the time, even though they seem to be engaged in diverse actions. Concepts of duality, unity, or such others do not arise in them. For there are no tendencies in their heart. Tendencies means raga and dvesha. From raga and dvesha only concepts arise. Diversity arises. I and you arise. Yeah? There are no raga and dvesha in the heart. The very seed of ignorance is burnt in the state of sattva, and it does not again give rise to delusion. Somebody had asked me, so if we reach that state of a jivan mukta, what happens then? What is there on the other side? If the mind dies, it sounds scary. Yeah, it's not scary. It's so beautiful that it's not called the mind anymore. It's called sattva. Yeah, you are mindless. It's a very beautiful state to attain. Nothing to be afraid of. In fact, you are actually thirsting for it. You've been waiting for that silence to happen. Yeah? Cessation of the mind equals to complete silence. Yeah? And there is no greater joy than that. O Rama, you have reached that state of sattva, and your mind has been burnt in the fire of wisdom. What is that wisdom? It is that infinite Brahman is indeed the infinite Brahman. The world appearance is but an appearance whose reality is Brahman. Yes? So it is basically everything is Brahman. This is wisdom. The appearance is insentient of what? This body or this world. It is unreal. Its reality is the reality of its substratum, which is consciousness. Yeah, basically, the reality of Prakriti is Brahman consciousness. That is the meaning of that sentence. Why then do you grieve? However, if you feel that all this is consciousness, there need not arise in you the notions of diversity. Recollect your essential nature as the infinite consciousness. Abandon the notions of diversity. You are what you are. Nay, not even that as a concept, but beyond it, you are the self-luminous being. He's again giving you another warning. Don't make another concept, oh, I am Purusha, I am the light. People make this also a concept. Yeah? Drop words. It is not words. Yeah? It is the experience. Yeah? It is that inner realization, that Swabhava Jnana that comes from within. Salutations to you, O cosmic being, that is infinite consciousness. Beautiful page, no? So I will stop here, but you have homework. You have to read page 224. Yeah? It is a continuation of the same, exactly what we were talking right now. So it is very simple to follow. And it ends with, we can see the last paragraph on page 224. Rama said, all my doubts have been dispelled. I am free from attraction and resistance, which is raga and dvesha. I am established in nature. I am well. Swastha. Swastha is Sanskrit, swa and astha. Swa means self. Astha is to remain or to rest, to relax. Yes, so I am well, when we say I am swastha in Sanskrit, actually means I am resting in the self. So beautiful, no? Yeah. It's also used in Marathi. And I am happy. I am Rama, in whom the worlds find their refuge. Salutations to me, salutations to you. This is Rama's Aho moment. Yeah? Like Janaka had it in Ashtavakra, Aho Niranjano. Here Rama is saying salutations to me. First time. Yeah? It took 224 pages for Rama to say Namo Mahyam. Janaka said it in 5 chapters. He was done. Yeah? Okay. So you read this page 224. Next week we will all meet and study online. Nobody is going to bunk. Yes. We come online, we study, and then we'll have an exam. Yes? Any questions?
So, I have a question. These 224 pages that Vasistha said, right? It didn't say to Rama alone, right? It was said in front of all the court. What happened to those?
It seems that only Rama is asking questions, others are just audience. Yeah? Same like Ashtavakra and Janaka. Janaka was sitting in court. Yeah, he was the king and Ashtavakra was giving this jnana to Janaka. Other people were also there in the court. But
Only who asks questions get enlightened. Ask more questions.
yes guys, let's have a question answer session.
No. Exam is good enough.
Okay, no more questions? ठीक है, चलो, good. Read this page guys. 224 is an important page. Yeah, it's just one page of homework for you and start studying. Yeah, next week we will all meet online and study. ठीक है? चलो, I'll see you next week. Jai Gurudev.